So two things I think that are important to remember, especially in the self-taping world that has taken over our lives, and it's great, and it also can be, everything has pros and cons. But I was coaching this kid the other day or yesterday, and his agents sent me, because he's up for this big movie, and his agents sent me his tapes of what he had done, and he was acting, right? Just radically honest. I'm always going to be honest with actors. He's acting. And to me, the problem isn't, I think everybody can learn to not act, but if they've been taught to make it all be about the lines and self-generate or play ideas, or worse, they maybe work with a coach who tells them on this line, say it like that, right? So it was all orchestrated and kind of agendized and manipulated, and it just was acted. Ironically, I always use this, the what do you call it, the slate, to be the sort of, I don't know, the measuring stick of when somebody's honest, because as soon as he said his slate, hi, I'm blah, 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 and blah, 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 he's just talking really honestly and free and responsive, and then whoop, 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 he goes to acting. So one of the things that was really exciting in our work session, because it really, the tape changed pretty dramatically, just getting him to listen and respond, and how he would listen and respond in the situation, taking it to text. And it really became night and day. And when I was watching his tapes after we worked, I was like, whoa, you can see a light in his eyes. And literally, his eyes were afire. They were alit with what we would call presence. Your essence is evoked when you're being present, listening, and responding to someone. And also, I think what's really amazing is his face was doing whatever his face would do based on listening. So if everybody looks at each other right now, look at everybody. Somebody find a partner and look, right? And so now watch, just look at someone. Now, if I'm going to say, if I'm going to give you words, and just let your face and your body and your eyes react based on the words that I tell you, okay? Okay. All right, everybody got somebody? Okay, all right, quickly. Okay, all right, ready? COVID. No, don't talk about it. Just let your face register. Your face register the experience of whatever you're listening to, how that evokes a response. Love. Politics. Fake news. Coffee. Sex. God. Summer. Climate collapse. Marriage. Okay, got it? Okay, so great. Okay. What? Okay. Come back. Listen. So here's the thing. In his self-tapes prior to our work session, when an actor makes everything about the lines, when they're making everything about the lines, the control of the lines, how to say the lines, the agendizing of the lines, trying to play an idea of who they think this character is, or playing the character descriptions, there is no possibility, generally, or I would say to a large degree, for them to have what is naturally happening, like you guys just experienced, when we listen and respond like in life. Because instead of listening, they're too busy. They're not even listening. They're just waiting for their cue to say their line the way they're going to say it. Does that make sense? So all of a sudden, your face goes robotic. Your eyes go dead. There's no life force in you. And really, I know that saying is cliche, but your eyes are the window to the soul, but they are a portal into how you live and breathe and move and are ecstatic and feel feelings. I was just watching Abe. I could see his eyes were sad. Presence makes us feel things. So as soon as we get somebody to listen and react naturally in the circumstances written for you by the writer, you're already going to be ahead of the curve. So that was the first thing. And it was really amazing to see this young actor make those changes. It's a real thing you can see. And then the second thing is I have a client who is in my class on Saturday. I taught as a new class. And I coach her, and I was on vacation last week, obviously, and I couldn't coach her. So she worked with somebody else. It's all fine. But what was interesting is that the person, her coach, told her, like, I want you to do, it was a self-tape, and he's like, I want you to not move your face at all. And she's like, what? But of course she did it. So she distrusted her own way of processing and listening because somebody was telling her to be still. And I thought, well, that's interesting because stillness doesn't come from the face. Stillness is it's like the center of who we are that emanates and changes sort of the configuration of possibly our face and other parts of ourselves. But you can't work from the outside in, meaning I'm not going to do anything with my face. That's like, I don't know, that's non-face acting. Again, you'll just become a robot. And so sure enough, afterwards, she said she went back and looked at all these, those famous auditions of all these famous people, and she's like, oh my God, they all move and they all scratch their faces and all have a really physical response to what they're hearing, and yet somebody told her not to move this part. Now, maybe in the audition, maybe she was moving a lot, and maybe that's something that we have to figure out. But that note put her so in her head, she became like a robot. And again, I'm just trying to always, please, you guys, you can't let your humanity be sucked out of you in the name of an audition, of doing something, letting the technical element override your humanity. Because at the end of the day, what is telling story? It's about our humanness, sharing our own hopes, dreams, failures, upsets, desires, fears through your own humanity. That cannot be transcribed or translated if you're like that. It doesn't happen that way. You all just confirmed it by watching each other's reaction. Even if the face was minimal, you still saw the response based on the listening. So I will always, always keep coming back to, if we're taught to listen from the largest space to the most granular, things will be happening in your work without you realizing they're happening. That's the last point. That's what's so amazing about it. So you don't have to worry about sort of the outer, how am I looking? Is this too much? How are other people perceiving this? If you're allowing yourself to do what it is that you normally do in life, that is the approximation of what acting is, okay? So you're all doing that. I just thought it was really great reminders for me to watch two actors struggling with that. And then when they did it like they just talked to me in life, how honest and interesting it is. And that is so much more valuable than playing an idea. So we got to keep remembering that. Okay.